Hi guys, Aaron Dorr here with Wyoming Gun Owners with an update for you on House District number 4. We're talking about the majority of Platte County over here in southeast Wyoming and a little bit of Converse County. This seat is currently held right now by Representative Dan Kirkbride. And he is being challenged in this August 18 primary by Jeremy Haroldson. And these two candidates are vying for the Republican nomination. And of course, that dictates that is, for all purposes, that is pretty much the general election here in Wyoming. And so the question is, for gun owners, which of these guys is going to fight for my gun rights the most going forward? Because our gun rights are under assault every day. Every day. In Cheyenne, by moderates, by liberals, across the country, everywhere, our gun rights are under attack. So who's going to stand up and fight to defend our Second Amendment freedom? Well, we know some things about Dan Kirkbride. And frankly, almost none of it's good. None of it's good. First of all, Dan is refusing to sign his WYGO candidate survey. And you might have heard from us before about this. When a candidate won't survey, it's almost every time an indication that they intend to betray gun owners once they are elected. If they won't put their name out there now, when they need our support the most, once they're in office and safe behind that desk for the next 2 years, it's almost always a sign they're going to betray us when they're in that position. So a very big red alert that Dan Kirkbride refuses to sign his WYGO candidate questionnaire. But you know what? When a guy has got so much gun control on his record, it's not really a surprise that he won't survey. Because Dan Kirkbride earlier this year co-sponsored Fix NICS gun control, House Bill 59. That happened earlier this year. And again, as a reminder, Fix NICS mental health gun control, it's like a version of red flag gun seizures. And its genesis comes from Senator Dianne Feinstein as the chief architect of this identical bill in Washington, D.C. So let that kind of sink in, right? Dan Kirkbride co-sponsoring bills being pushed by Dianne Feinstein at the federal level. That's the kind of crap that Dan Kirkbride is pushing on us in Wyoming, not California, Wyoming. Now, WYGO members got to work on this bill, and we just boot-stomped it into the grave in 2020. The bill was pulled from consideration hours before session began because Kirkbride and a couple others, Pownell and Von Flatteren, were receiving hundreds and hundreds of emails from their district saying, don't you dare push this garbage on us here in Wyoming. So the bill was pulled because the members of WYGO shut it down. But that's the kind of stuff that Dan Kirkbride was supporting earlier this year. Last year, we had a critical vote to rid Wyoming of deadly gun-free zones. You know, these are the areas that criminals always go to attack innocent people. Dan Kirkbride skipped out on that vote, so I can't give you a yes or a no, but he skipped out. And in 2017, WYGO was just about this close from ridding the state of gun-free zones on campuses. UW, all their satellite offices across the state, all of these campuses are deemed off-limits to gun owners as well. And our bill, House Bill 136, would have fixed that problem. We passed the bill out of the House, but we almost didn't because Dan Kirkbride was a freaking no vote. He sided with all the Democrats in the House and voted no on campus carry. The date was February 1st, 2017. Heck, if you want the time, we can find that for you too. It's 11:27 a.m. on this day. That's when Dan Kirkbride voted with the House Democrats against campus carry legislation. So folks, his record, Dan Kirkbride's record, is clear and it's ugly when it comes to our gun rights. Not good. You also have Jeremy Haroldson, though, in this race. And Jeremy Haroldson recently signed his WYGO candidate survey 100% pro-gun. Every question we asked him, he answered pro-gun. That means he's opposed to red flags. He's opposed to an assault weapons ban on the on the AR-15. He's opposed to gun registration, universal background checks. He's opposed to any waiting periods on buying firearms. He's opposed to the deadly gun-free zones that plague so many areas here in Wyoming. So every question we threw at him, Jeremy Haroldson, 100% pro-gun. And again, as you guys know, these surveys are published on our website. You guys can see these for yourself. And that's important. That's powerful, because that way, down the road, if Jeremy Haroldson betrays you, you have the evidence you need to hold him accountable. That's why this program for survey is so very important. So 100% pro-gun, opposes the entire gun control agenda being pushed by the liberal left and the moderate right, the moderate mushy middle, if you will, in Cheyenne. 100% Jeremy Haroldson. Dan Kirkbride, terrible record on guns, sponsoring gun control, voting against your gun rights almost every chance he gets. So guys, if you see Dan Kirkbride, tell him to apologize. Tell him shame on you, for refusing to fight for us when we needed you the most. And tell him to apologize for trying to hide the truth about his record. It's a mess. And thank Jeremy Haroldson for standing up for gun rights. Guys, share this video far and wide all across Platte County, and make sure gunners know what's going on. And guys, if you haven't yet joined WIGO, now's the time. Get involved today at joinwygo.com. Thanks.